I was inspired by the river that's beside the plot, and the water is cooling and refreshing, so that's why water is the main theme in my design. The cascade consists of 4 residential buildings that are located on the west side of the plot. The apartments are lifted up from the ground to provide them privacy and also to create a more public area to the southern part of the plot. In the northern part of the plot, there are 2 parking levels for underneath the apartments. The river is brought to the plot to cool down the area, and the biggest building masses are lifted up to allow wind flow through the site and also to create shade to the ground level. The southern half of the plot by the library is more public, and there are commercial spaces in the ground floor. The spaces have glass facades, so there is a visual connection through the site to the river. Residents have their more private yard in the northern part of the plot. The area is cooled by shallow water that is on top of the parking deck, and it's also cooled by the building masses above ground floor. The shallow water streams down from the edges of the deck and creates cascades. By the waterfront there are docks for fishing boats and also a stop for the river taxi. The pedestrian river walkway is expanded to an area of pop-up stores, shops and restaurants. The apartments are cooled down with water that circulates in the apartment ceiling's gypsum board. The circulating water is cooled down in roof ponds and in the cascades. There are pipes of cooling water circulating in the gypsum board, and the circulating water is kept cool and cooled down by the roof ponds where the river cools the pipes down. During the day, the ponds are covered with insulation with a reflective surface to prevent the water from heating. And during night, the covers are taken off to allow heat energy radiate to the space. Each building has 2 facades of cascades. The cascades are made out of metal pipes, and the circulating cooling water goes through these pipes. The pipes are cooled down by another layer of water that goes on top of these pipes. It cools the pipe down as it evaporates and takes heat energy from the pipes. The building has a double facade that forms out of a shell of kalkstone bricks with openings. The airflow through and behind the bricks cools the exterior shell down and keeps the inner wall cool. It also shades the interior spaces as it intertwines over windows and balconies. Apartments are shaded by the brick walls and by the varying envelope. There are 255 apartments and 7 different types. The balconies are located in the inner corners to provide shade, and the balconies also shade the bedrooms. The apartments have their own small cascades streaming over the balcony windows. And this view is from a 1-bedroom apartment to the river. And here are 2 sections of the building that's beside the library. And here are the calculations of my design and also a detailed section. MultiComfort criteria are filled with these isoware structures. The building is concrete structure and the glass walls are triple glazed. The buildings vary in height to provide views to the neighboring buildings. The buildings are on the highest, they are 45 meters high. The facade materials are white kalkstone brick and glass. Here you can also see the shallow water streaming over the parking area's facade. And finally, here's a visualization through the site to the river, where you can see the cascades as well. Thank you.